Eagle Creek Church, how are we this morning? Oh, dude, 8:15 was more lit than this. How are we doing this morning? Okay. Now, before we get started, and usually I just immediately come having fun. I do this moment, and last service I cried. This service, I'm not. I told myself, can we make some noise for Pastor Matt and Sherry real quick before I tell you why we're making noise, because it doesn't even matter. Can we just make some noise for Pastor Matt and Sherry? Man. So I shared this last service, and I never shared it before. And Ryan and I, we drove 8 hours to get here to be with you guys from Nashville, Tennessee. And Ryan and I were talking, you know those people that you had, we still have Matt and Sherry, but those people that you didn't know that you needed them as much as you needed them until you're 6, 7, 8, 9 years down the road, and you're like, man, they were really good. You just needed them for that season. We moved here in the summer of 2015. Okay, that's how long ago this was. The summer of 2015, and when I say we kind of moved in faith, we just believe what Pastor Matt and Sherry, the vision here, still do. I'll join ASAP. I'll probably be a man time if there's barbecue. We believed in the vision, so we moved here. And when I say we didn't have friends, we didn't have family, I didn't know that Lee's Summit was even a thing. We find out about it, and when we got here, we're pastoring, we're working at the church, but it's lonely. Right? You move to a new city, you're just out. We would catch ourselves walk through Walmart almost shopping for friends. It was weird. We're like, oh, they look kind of cool. You want to hang out with them? Hey, go ask them. And so then all of a sudden, after the summer, Thanksgiving rolls around, and we weren't going to go home. And it was just going to be me, Ryan, and Salem. We only had one daughter at the time, and we get a text. I think Pastor Sherry messages Ryan, and she says, hey, do you guys want to come spend Thanksgiving with our family? And I don't know if you know, that's when you don't have anybody, when you don't have family, when you don't have friends, that means, and for Pastor Matt and Sherry, who we're not alike, we don't talk alike, we don't have the same interests, they just said, come into our house, and I'll make you mac and cheese. And that was the deal for me. I told Ryan, this is anointed by God. He made mac and cheese. Say less, we're there. But I think that also has bled in their heart, their vision, their passion is also bled into the church. Because we come in, I may not look like you, I may not talk like you, I may not even have voted like you. You don't care? Here, I'll make you mac and cheese. Come hang out real quick and learn about Jesus. And that's what I love so much, one about Pastor Matt and Sherry and about Eagle Creek Church. So we give Pastor Matt and Sherry one more round of applause. Trust me. And I didn't do this last service because I know he doesn't, I think it was your birthday pretty recently. So we're not gonna do that. I won't do that. But man, we are just so thankful for them. So last time I was here in October. And I didn't bring my wife and kids. And when I tell you somebody booed from the back when I told them my wife wasn't here, I made sure, so my beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful wife, Ryan, is here. My daughters, one. And if you see, okay, hold on. And then my daughters are in kids' prison over there just trying to get out. And their names are Salem and Asher, 7 and 5. And I have literally, I don't know how it happened, I have the most beautiful women that follow me all the time. And it's super awesome and cool, but then there's also my wife is really dark complected. So and it's funny, she's dark, gorgeous, all of that. But you don't really know what ethnicity she is if you've ever met somebody where it's I can't pinpoint what it is. So one time, really it's happened multiple times, but she can't wear black t-shirts when we go to Mexican restaurants or Chinese restaurants. And you never think, but so she'll be walking to the bathroom and someone will go, hey, can I get a refill, ma'am? And she's like, maybe, what are you drinking? But man, and because they have such good complexion, all that, I just look like a jar of mayonnaise has been laying out in the sun too long. And it's really people always ask, how did it happen? And I said, well, I've been reading this Bible. And I do remember for fellas that are trying to get married, things like that, my grandpa did tell me a long time ago, he looked at me very stern, okay? Southern grandpa. He looked at me very stern, and he was honest, and this is our relationship. He said, Tyler, you're not a very good-looking guy. Thank you for the encouragement, Grandpa. He said, so if you want a really good-looking woman, make her laugh. And I said, well, why? He said, because when people laugh, they close their eyes. And she, stop, seriously? You guys agree. Like, you're laughing, but it's like, okay, now I see it. And so now Ryan is just constantly with her eyes shut. And I'm just like, perfect. But last year, in October, I think it was October we were here, we said we were gonna be planting different church. And with just the world and how it is right now, that looked like creating a 100% online ministry. And we have a core team, just like you would normally church plant. You have your core team, you have your leaders, and we're growing in person. Our main goal is to and here's what we say it different, we wanna walk through your door before you ever walk through ours. So we produced the Bible, and something that we did, and it's on our YouTube campus, but something we did was we produced the book of Ephesians. We want to do 2 books a year, the book of Ephesians and the book of Philippians. But you ever like played the Bible app and they have it reading and it's like at a funeral and like it's super slow and soft and you fall asleep and stuff like that? We didn't want to do that. We want to create the Bible where if you're out for a run, it has a hip hop beat, it encourages you, you're working out, whatever. We even have a personal trainer in Nashville who watches different online, and he called me one day, he said, bro, he said, I was just training these people, and I put the book of Ephesians on. They didn't even know they were reading the Bible, bro. I got them. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, dude. But so we do everything, and can I tell you, within the last 6 months, we have reached, and I know that God's got more for this, but in the last 6 months, we've reached 300,000 people with different church online media, which is crazy. And so thank you guys for supporting us before we even started, all that. So here's what you can do. Actually, Different Church is live right now on our YouTube campus. Would you pull out your phone and just go to YouTube real quick and just subscribe? And here's why this makes a difference for us. So right now it's live right now. People are saying good morning, stuff like that. When you subscribe, you don't have to watch all the time or anything, but when somebody like wakes up in the morning and goes, man, I need to read the Bible, and they go to YouTube, the more subscribe, and we have the audio Bible produced already, we will be the top channel or the top thing. So if you will just type in Different Church, it's a black logo, and just click subscribe. And obviously on your way home, you can listen to the book of Ephesians, Philippians, whatever, but that's just something we're passionate about that we want to do. And this is the coolest thing, and then I promise we're done. We're done, I promise. The coolest thing, guys, when I tell you God is doing something crazy, we partnered with an organization called Hope for the World in the country of Albania, okay? Not Alabama, because some people are like, oh, whatever. No, Albania, okay? Close to Greece and Italy. They have like 3 orphanages and 2 teen centers or something like that. And they raise up these kids that are part of gypsy families that get tossed to the side because they're mixed race of Greece or Greek or Italian, all this stuff. And they called us and they said, hey, what if you started an online campus in Albania? And you could use our people to translate everything that you want to do. And when I looked on the Bible app, there was the native tongue is Ship. They could read it in Ship, but it wouldn't like audio in Ship. So I said, we can do that. We can produce the Bible in Ship and get it to these young people. And the breakdown of Albania is an atheist country with Muslim roots, and then there are some Catholic and Greek Orthodox churches sprinkled within the midst of everything. And then there comes this crazy white guy that's just saying, hey, we want to put the Bible out here just to love on you. And the coolest thing, it's not like Tyler preaches and there's a translator under it. We are empowering these teen centers to make TikToks, to read the Bible, to make devotionals, to give their testimonies online, to reach the country. Dude, you're telling me, I could maybe believe Tyler does a church in Alabama because it's right under, but Albania? What? So like in October, November, be on the lookout for Different Church Albania. Man, I am so excited for what God's doing with Different Church. I'm just so thankful for you guys and my family here, all of that. So when we started, please. And dude, it trips me. I can hardly speak English. Okay, Ebonics is first language, second language is English, and then I guess I'm gonna learn Ship. But when we started an online ministry and an online church, you know what I've learned about like social media, because now that's all we do 24/7? People don't even really like the content anymore, do they? They don't like the videos. You know what they love? The comment section. You ever see like a post that like hold on. Y'all are already about the tea. Like, oh, I saw something this week. You ever see like a friend of yours post something about like, and right now it's a hot button, okay? We're not gonna get into it, but like the vaccine or something, right? You see the post and you see like 50 comments. Where are you running immediately? You didn't even look at the whole post. You don't even know. You're just like, I need to know the gossip right now. And oh, she's divorced now? I didn't even know. And we love the tea. We love the comment section. Little did I know when we started an online church, we would have a comment section as well. I would love to say 300,000 people love Tyler. I would love to say that. Most of them don't. I will, literally, here. Ryan, try to take this off. Okay. Every morning I wake up, because we reach thousands of people while we're asleep. Like just, videos are just moving and going. And every morning, like this morning, I woke up to somebody like trashing me. But so a while ago, I made a shirt just to remind me, okay. The guy's name is user 8951545531349. A troll, right? We would call that a troll. And his comment under one of our, like it's a video of me preaching, he is annoying. No period, no grammatic error, like nothing. Just no, he didn't even like try with this diss at all. So he puts, he is annoying. And I'm kind of torn because maybe it's a troll, but I also think like my wife makes these fake accounts just to get her like, man, I'm just not feeling him today. I'm gonna make an account and make, like 2 days ago, someone was like, his voice is so annoying. I can't change my voice, guys. And imagine how my wife and kids feel, like all the time. But you know what I was thinking as we get these comments? My daughter's got paint on this shirt. As I was praying and looking at, you know what I've needed more than anything else in this season where I've gotten comments like these more? I didn't get comments like these when I didn't put myself out there and chase what God had for me. I didn't. When I sat at home eating Twinkies and just watching, binging Netflix, I didn't get any, and that's nice. But right when I said, you know what, God, I'm gonna be the pastor you've called me to be, whether people like it or not. Right when I do that, user 8951545531349 says, you're annoying. Right when listen though, right when you step out to be the husband God's called you to be, and you say, man, I'm gonna start reading and praying with my kids before they go to sleep, you don't think you're gonna get a comment somewhere from a family member, from a friend? Right when you say, you know, I'm gonna bring my Bible to work today because Pastor Matt challenged us. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was listening to the message, and he said, hey, go out and pray for somebody this week. You don't think you're gonna get a comment from user 8951545531349 that says, hey, this is annoying? And as I've stepped out into what God's called me to do, I've realized I need peace more than any other time in my life. With so many voices, I can't even get on Facebook anymore, bro. Are you kidding? It's always something. And being an online, like doing ministry online and almost being kind of like an online pastor, I'll post a picture of my family and somebody in the comments section will be like, I wish you preached better or something. Like, and it's like, dude, it's just me and my kids. But it's like, okay, peace, peace, peace. But my reminder to you, and it's something that we don't do a lot, is what if the very thing that you're praying for actually doesn't create the peace you're searching for? How many times have you like woken up and said like, man, God, let nothing bad happen today? I do it all the time, personally. I'm always like, God, don't let me break anything today. Don't let me say something that's gonna make my wife mad. Don't let me say, I'm always, but what if the pain that you go through actually is the thing that creates the peace that you need? I don't need peace on the beach and on vacation, do I? We chase for the vacation, we chase for the beach and thinking, okay, this is peace. And that's nice, but you don't need peace there. When do you need peace? When user 8951545531349 says, you're annoying. Your manager emails you, the husband you're praying for doesn't support what you're trying to, whatever. I don't know where you're at, but it's almost like we try to dodge the very thing that creates peace in our lives. And the pain produces peace. If you have a Bible, will you turn to Philippians 4? When I tell you, me and Pastor Matt and Pastor Evan did not plan the song, the offering. They had no idea. I just said, hey, I'm preaching on peace, that's it. Had no idea that we were gonna be in Philippians 4 literally all day. And here's what I would tell you, because we work with a lot of people that don't read the Bible at all. If you're one of those people that just like, you're not, and I'm this way, okay, so no hate. You ever like don't have a devotional or you don't know what to read, you just kind of open the Bible and go, all right, this page 567, you better speak to me, God. I stopped doing that, and when I feel like I need something but I don't know where to go, I run to Philippians 4. Every single time. I'll read Philippians 4 4 times a week. I'm telling you, it has so much for you. It speaks so much. But we're only gonna be in 2 verses. Philippians 6 and 7, I think it's on the screen so we can play karaoke. Look at this, I'll read it. Verse 6, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he's done. Verse 7. Then, my favorite word in the Bible, then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. Or if you grow up Pentecostal, a peace that passes all understanding, and somebody starts to shout, somebody takes a lap, then you will experience peace which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace which will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ. Let's go back to verse 6. Long before Bob Marley ever said, don't worry, the Apostle Paul, inspired by God, said, don't worry about. But God, Tyler, God wants me to worry about some things. Like literally, my bank account's in the negative because I went negative $2. Then they took $35 more out of my negative 2. Now I have negative 37. He wants me to worry about that. No. There's no asterisk on this verse. Like I've got the Bible right here. It's not like there's an extra study guide that's like, oh, well, these things you worry about. But my kids at college, they're not in church right now. I don't know what they're doing. This isn't Tyler. I didn't write this down on my notes. I'm looking at the notes God wrote down for my life. Don't worry about any large thing, any medium thing. Gap has the size medium, any medium thing. This shirt, I've worn it a couple times. It's starting to get medium. Or any small thing. No. We don't worry about anything. But, because if you're like me, I worry, I stress, I'm anxious, oh my goodness, if you only knew the situation I'm going through right now. I'm so glad God didn't just like drop us on this earth and go, all right, see you in heaven, and then just like let you live for 80 years and just suffer. He didn't. You know what he did? He gave us this instruction manual, and it gives you the cure, the remedy, the antidote for worry. Don't worry about anything. Instead, oh, you got it. Pray. Look at that. What's that word? Pray. P-R-A-Y. Pray about, oh my goodness. The finances, the cousin, the manager, everything. Pray about everything. And I can't talk about peace and not talk about prayer. Those things you can't. Okay, I'm gonna teach on peace and I'm gonna teach on prayer. No. Those things are together. They're together. But you know what I do when I worry? You know what I do when I stress and I'm anxious? I say this phrase, and this phrase is the most dangerous phrase that you can live with in your life. Let me figure this out. I got this. Right? Something's going on at the house, at the crib, or at your job with finances. Okay, let me get a loan real quick. Let me get in the car. Let me go for a drive. Let me go to the office. Let me get in my room. Let me just be quiet. Whew, I got this. I can figure this out. No. You can't. If you could figure it out, you probably wouldn't be in the position in the first place. If Tyler knows the answer to all of Tyler's problems, Tyler's in trouble. Because I don't know a lot. I don't. But he says, hey, take your hands off. Because you know what happens when I get involved in my mess and my problems? I make it worse. Well, my car, so you know how you can look at a guy and know they probably know how to fix a car? I'm not that guy. I mean, I know that's a shocker to you probably. Like, oh man, I thought you could just kill that thing. No. I got nothing. But I can tell, like I can already tell, like I see like Yeah, like 50 dudes. If my car's messed up in this audience right now, you guys are pop that hood and make it happen. But there's something inside of me, because my wife will say, hey, there's something happening in the engine. Before I call a mechanic, what do I have to be a man. So what do? I get on YouTube. Duh. Duh. So I become a YouTube, and here's what I've watched enough mechanics to look like I know what I'm doing, okay? I always take a rag because that's what they do. And I always put it like in my back pocket. And I pop the hood, check. I'm already an expert at this. And I've seen them all, when they pop the hood, they kind of stand like this. And they kind of cock themselves back a little bit, and they just look at it for a little bit. They just look at the engine. And for them, they're looking at it and saying, is there anything loose? Me, when I look at it, I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking into this engine like, but here's what I do. I grab my rag out, and I start, and I think that this is even bad for it. I start like wiping everything down, thinking that's gonna fix it. I had a dude tell me like, yeah, no, it's supposed to be oily. You know, there's supposed to be oil in your car. And I'll just start wiping it down. If I touch my engine too much, what happens? I will mess it up more than it already is. So what do? I call a mechanic. I say, help, I don't have the answer, so I need you. When I worry, when I have a situation that's bigger than me, bigger than my understanding, which isn't much, help, I need you. But you know what that takes? For you to drop your pride. Because, listen, and Jesus even talks about two types of prayers. The one that goes, hey, don't let me be like this guy over here. I kind of got it like that. Look at me. And then there's so you can pray in pride. I don't know how much that does. But when you lower your pride and you say, I don't have the answers. I need help, Dad. But that's like the last thing I do, isn't it? And this is just Tyler. I don't know. Maybe it's like your fourth or fifth thing that you do. But I always go, I got this. Let me figure this out. Let me figure this out. Let me figure this out. No. Help! I don't know how to fix this. So I was raised by my grandparents. And I don't know, this is kind of like, I would assume like Missouri, when I hear the word Missouri, I always think South, even though it's kind of like Midwest. I think you guys are probably pretty similar to like Tennessee, Nashville, okay. You may not claim us, but I'm claiming you guys right now. I was raised by my grandparents, and did any of you guys ever have like, it was grandpa's house, but grandma's kitchen? Like your grandpa, my kids just like walk into, and this kind of offends me, but they just like walk into the kitchen and open the fridge. Like you just don't do that. Like I was never allowed to just open the fridge. You ate when grandma had something ready to serve you. And I remember in her kitchen, and I remember this vividly, I lived with them for a few years. She had this TV. The screen was no bigger than this, okay? No bigger than this. And it sat on top of like the pantry. It was up in the corner, and all day long she would watch 3 shows. And we would come in for a drink of water or something. When the hose pipe wasn't working, we'd run in, and she'd be watching Jeopardy. Okay, so I grew up, I thought Ken Jennings was like my dad or something because I saw him so much. Jeopardy, The Wheel of Fortune, or The Price is Right. Are they the same thing? Maybe they're the same thing, I don't know. Those two, and then the last one, which is my personal favorite, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I used to sit there and just watch these people crumble, fail, and now I think they've made it where there are more lifelines. Like they've made it easier to reach $1 million. Back in the day, there were 3 lifelines. 50-50, which meant I'm gonna remove, so there are 4 answers for young people. There are 4 answers, we're gonna remove 2 wrong answers, and so you're left with the right one and a wrong. You have a 50-50 chance of getting it right if you don't know the answer. The second was ask the audience, right? Like if I didn't know the answer, and this is kind of a scary group, I would ask you guys, and you guys would submit, and it would say like, oh, 25% says this answer, 50% whatever. Then there was the last one. Does anyone remember the last one? Phone a friend. Right, so before you get to the competition or whatever, you say, If I run into a question I don't know the answer to, I'm gonna call this guy or this girl. Why? They know more than me about multiple areas. So they'd sit down, they'd ask a question, and it'd be their last line. Usually phone a friend was the last one. If you really think about it, phone a friend was the last one they used. But what does that require you to do? You're calling your friend and saying, I don't have the answer. And how often do I sit in this chair and I don't know the answer? Stress is building, worry is building, anxiety is building, and all I have to do is call God. At any point, that's why literally Jesus tore the veil so that I could talk to him, but the whole time I sit in this chair and I'm miserable, I'm anxious, I'm worried, you're stressed, when he's given you the cure. Don't worry about anything. Instead, what? Phone the friend. God, I don't have the answers to this. This finance stuff is way bigger than me. Starting this company, way bigger. Starting this ministry, way bigger. This marriage, way bigger. But that takes us having to say, I don't know. And I don't know about you. I only know how guys think, and we know everything. Until Ryan, my wife, tells me that I'm wrong. And so it's hard. It's hard to just get on the phone with God and say, I'm lost. I'm lost. But then we come to my favorite part. Don't worry about anything. Instead, no, back to 6. Don't worry about, I get my train of thought. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. And look at this. I'm really good at this first part, not good at the second. Tell God what you need. Have you seen my Amazon wish list? I know what I need. I need $1 million check. I need a vacation to wherever that's super nice, Paris. I'd love to go to Paris or Japan. I need all of that. But look what it says. Tell God what you need, check, we're good. And thank him for all he's done. Evan, if you want to, come play. Thanks, bro. And thank him for all he's done. I'm really good at telling someone what I need. I'm not really good, because I really do believe the most powerful 2 words on this planet are thank and you. Thank you. But you know what? As Americans, I've been able to travel, and if you've ever been out of the country, you realize cultures are a lot different. You know what Americans are good at? Saying thank you when we leave somebody's house. Saying thank you when we've left the party that we got invited to. Oh, thank you, it was such a good party, it was such a good time. You know what other cultures do? Well, I'll show you. They take their shoes off at the door, and they say, thank you for inviting me in. Thank you for this party. And they begin to say thank you before they ever experience was why? Thankfulness breeds anticipation. Thankfulness breeds expectation. When you say thank you, you're assuming there's something better on the other side, whether you've seen it or not. And when you get in a situation you don't have the answer to, you say, thank you for this. Thank you for what you've done, because I know there's something better on the other side. Thank you. Thank you. But we're bad about that. We love saying thank you after the check comes in the mail, after the husband starts acting right, after. No. What if you walked into your job that you've been complaining about for 8 years and said thank you to your manager that you despise for giving you the job? How would that change how you worked that day? What if you said thank you to the husband or wife that just isn't getting it yet and it's a struggle right now, or the kid? What if you said thank you for the day they're gonna have, your kid at school, rather than wait till you get home and say thank you that you had a good day today? You're setting the expectation. This is gonna be excellent. This is gonna be great. But we miss that, don't we? So what does it say? Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank him for all he's done. My favorite word in the Bible, verse 7, first thing, then. Then is my favorite word. Why? There is a promise attached. Then is a cause and effect word. I didn't read a lot in school or study, but I remember this one class that we took on cause and effect. That meant everything that happens before caused this to happen. So when we say then you'll experience God's peace, we've got to look at what we just read, verse 6. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank him for all he's done. That's the cause. Then you will experience God's peace. But I want the abs without the cardio. I do. Oh, I don't want to do, you ever do 5 sit-ups? You've never done a sit-up before. You do 5 sit-ups and you just lift your shirt for no reason, just thinking a six-pack's under there. I do it all the time. I do. Tell God what you need. Thank him for what he's done in the past. Build that anticipation that God's gonna do it again. Do it again, God. I remember I heard a pastor, he was preaching, he said, God's a do it again, God. I thought that was really good, so I was like, oh, I'll steal that one day. Then you will experience God's peace. And maybe you've needed peace in this season. You get on Facebook, you got a family group chat that just runs you dry. Every single time you see that coworker, someone brings up your past, someone brings up your failure, whatever, and it brings you so much worry. Then you'll experience God's peace. And then the passage says, then you'll experience God's peace, which exceeds. And I used to read this wrong, okay? I've been in church for 11 years now. I've read this wrong my whole life. Which exceeds anything we can understand. Remember, if you're Pentecostal, the peace that passes all understanding, someone gets the trumpet and takes a run, then you experience the peace that passes all understanding. I used to think when I got God's peace, I got warm and fuzzies. I used to really think when I really experienced God's peace, I'd get the chill bumps and I would just start to feel like I thought that was it. Until I experienced God's real peace. And yes, have I been in worship services where the Holy Spirit's on me and my physical body starts to feel that there's something moving in the spirit realm? Of course, yeah. But when we talk about peace, and it says it here, I actually like this way better. It's a peace that I can't understand. That means in situations you don't understand, for some reason, you'll be able to smile. For some reason, you'll be able to sleep at night. For some reason, you'll be able to trust that God is good, and you don't know why. You ever been going through just hell in your life, and somebody goes, how are you look so good, how? That's the peace, and you're like, I don't know. I'm just existing, I'm breathing, I'm here, but I know God's got something better for me. That's the peace that passes all understanding that you can't understand. But what if, to get into that situation where you experience the peace that passes all understanding, you have to put yourself in a situation you don't understand, which is hard, which hurts. So when we told Pastor Matt, hey, we're gonna start this, it was in October, and we're done. When we told him, we had it all planned out. Hear me. When we started this church, we had it all planned out. We were gonna raise this much money, and we had just paid off our car. We had bought in a car cash. We've been saving up for it, and we don't have money like that. The reason why I know that the bank takes $35 when you go negative, happens to me once a month. I got you. We paid off our car, and we said, okay, now we're gonna start saving so that we can live off our savings as we start the church. And we had it all planned out. And I was helping a church in Pensacola at the time before we started the church. And one weekend, I drive down to help with the service, and it was a Saturday, and our Jeep had a fob. You know the thing, you don't have the key, you have the fob. And my friend said, hey, will you come and help me move something? So I left the fob in the car while I helped my boy move. And then after we got done moving, he's like, hey, do you want to go to lunch? Yeah, of course. So we go to lunch. Guess what's still in the car? My fob. We get back from lunch, and we were gone that afternoon. We were downtown something, and we get back at 6 o'clock, and my boy Darius that I'm with goes, where's your car? What? What? And so I'm looking, and you know how whenever something really bad happened, you start talking yourself there's no way. So I was like, maybe I parked on the other side of the apartment complex. Maybe my car's blue and not black, even though I've had it for 2 years. Maybe that's it. And I really start pulling on every car, thinking, this is my car, this is my car, and it's not. And then it comes over me. One, I have to tell my wife. that was before even. And then the second one, We just paid it off. What? And my car just got stolen. So what did I do? I called the cops. Police department, I called. This female officer comes out, and she didn't know that she made me feel like I was stupid, but she did. She like looks at me, she was like, so were the keys in the car? I was like, yeah. And I told her the situation. She's like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have done that. Duh. And so she goes, well, we'll let you know if anything, if we find it. So all that night, I am just, one, if the car's gone, whatever happens, I wasn't gonna press charge. Just bring me my car. You needed it for the night? Cool, enjoy it for the night. I just need it back the next day. And the next morning, and I'm stressing, my wife's stressing. The next morning I wake up, and we had church that morning, and I looked outside like he might have brought it back or something. I look outside, it's not there, and I remember like, I start praying. I don't know, this isn't just some cool prayer, elegant pastor prayer. I just told God like, dude, I don't know what to do right now. But then something shifted in me. I felt I needed to pray for the person that stole my car. When yet last night, I was ready to swing. I was ready to lay hands on that dude, not in the church way. I was ready to lay hands on this guy. So I began to pray for this kid. Because there was something in me that said, if he's willing to steal a car, he needed something. You're much further along than he is. So I began to pray, and then at 5:30 that morning, I get a call from the officer. Craziest call I've ever gotten in my life. She said, well, we found your car. Hope! Oh my goodness! I was praying for him. I knew God was gonna do something. I knew it. I don't touch God's anointing, I promise. I really was doing that. Then she says, well, it was involved in a high-speed chase last night at 1:30. It had guns and stuff in it. He got off on the median. He wrecked into a tree. Your car's totaled. But he's arrested. Well, and then she calls me back later and was like, are these guns yours? Like, there's like 4 guns. I was like, nah, not mine. So then my wife calls me, and she goes, well, maybe insurance, but remember, key thing, Ryan and I have always kind of done the Dave Ramsey thing, so we were debt-free. And he says, don't do this. By the way, I love him, don't do this, because it happened to me. When you pay something off, the insurance, get the lowest insurance, so you're paying the less monthly. Makes sense on paper until you park your car somewhere you shouldn't. So they said, hey, you don't have coverage for this. You're out $10,000 essentially. And we're just now starting the church, Pastor Matt. Like, we're just now doing it. I had it all mapped out. There's no way that this is happening right now. Now, whatever savings I had to live off of to help the church, now I have to buy a new car because we only have 1 car because we got rid of 2 to pay off the 1, and I've been trying to do it right. I've listened to your word. But then when I get home, I tell Ryan, oh, like, we need God now. Like, we had God starting this church. No, I need him now. I am in a situation where I need him. And maybe you're there. Maybe you've left the keys in your car. You've left the keys of peace. They're out here. Oh, snap, there's a bug attacking me up here. That's crazy. But you've left the keys in your car, and your peace gets stolen all the time. Every single time you get a text, an email, something happens, your peace gets stolen. And maybe you just need to pray. You haven't prayed about it. I want to give you that opportunity now. Philippians 4, verse 6, we want to live out the scripture. Don't worry about anything. Even when you've had it all mapped out, don't worry about it. If it doesn't work, pray. Hey, Dad, I know you've got to be the breadwinner. I know you've got to do that. Don't worry. And it's not working, don't worry. Pray about everything. God, we love you. We thank you. We are so grateful that you've given us a way out of our worry. You've given us a way out of our stress and our anxiety. You've given us a way out of our doubt. But God, help us just to drop our pride this morning and say, I don't have the answers. And I need you to come in. I need to phone the friend. I need the help. I need someone that knows a lot more than me. And God, I speak this over my life as well. there are situations that I'm in personally, that we're in personally, that we need you to intervene. And I'm sorry when I've said I've got this. God, we love you. We thank you. We praise you. It's in your name we pray. And everybody said, amen.